right, hello, hello. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Uh-oh, hold on. I lost the. Where is it? There we go. All right. I was like, oh god, I don't have my chat box anymore. What? No, go, go. He was playing with a light bulb. I had to like grab the light bulb from. I had a. There was a little. It was a light stand I had on the side over here, and he hasn't touched it for like I don't know 3 months, and all of a sudden, right before I hit start, he went, "What? No, you cannot have the light bulb. Nope, nope. There's nothing in my pocket." Um. All right, all right, all right. So, kind of an interesting start. Really, the yen is the only, and again, it's not even massive amounts of, you know, kind of influence right now, but the yen is the only thing really moving. You can see the pound dollar basically flat at zero, a little bit red in there. Showing us that pound weakness. A little bit euro pound up just a tad at 27. It's not horrible. Pound yen 83. Again, it looks like the yen weakness is stronger than the pound. As far as the dollar goes, more or less flat. I mean, Aussie dollar minus 18, dollar CAD 18, dollar Swiss minus 29. Again, not showing dollar strength there. Euro dollar up a little bit at 23. This morning, all we had was the business climate. Basically came in exactly as expected. So not a whole lot there. Um, yeah, look at this one. Our latest calls ahead of a dramatic month, right? Oh wait, hold on. That was pretty good. Where is it? Right there. Right there. Yeah. So a lot of red over there, a lot of rate statement. Again, normally this wouldn't be as big of a deal, but I think a lot of people are looking at this of what's coming down the pipe next. So, as far as today, not a lot happened over week. Must maintain monetary easing as trend inflation still below 2%. Again, BOJ, we knew they weren't going to really change much. They said they weren't changing much, so none of that surprising. World military spending reaches all time high. Again, not surprised by that at all. Again, a lot is being sent towards the Ukraine, but understand as they send old stuff to the Ukraine, they are replacing it with new stuff as well. So again, military spending, not surprised at an all-time high, and a lot more going towards that. I think in the future as well, right? Um, Again, some of the costs of these things are just absolutely just insane, and only going to get worse. Again, just think about it. If our costs are high, their costs are high as well too, right? The $5,000 government hammer, right? Um, Besides that, again, really not much here, right? You're seeing really nothing earth-shattering, Res. Russia says G7 export ban to trigger grain deal exit. Yeah, I mean, remember, there's a cause and effect with everything. Yeah. So, yeah. Now, today there's nothing really else. Tomorrow morning we do have some consumer confidence data coming in. We have some new home sales, which is not big, and then Richmond manufacturing expected to be a little bit lower. Remember, manufacturing's been all over the place, right? Empire was great. Philly got just absolutely destroyed. Yeah, and then tomorrow night, again, we'll speak from now till then. We do have the CPI data on a quarterly basis, again showing it coming down, and then on a yearly basis also coming down, and then obviously the trend meeting coming down. So when you look at all that, what does that do? I mean, the Aussie is already halted, right? They've already paused. I think this is also in favor of not restarting interest rates again. So, again, this could be a nice little trade setup with nothing, right? Um, and what I mean by that is, normally, right? Normally, you're like, oh, this would be really, really bad. Could they potentially raise, etc. I mean, obviously, we're not raising. It's coming back in line for where it needs to be. I think this would be, you know, questioning what type. I mean, really, it's what type of pauses do we see everybody else putting in, right? Everybody's looking at the other guy. The Aussie being, one of the pausing group. And I think this is a good thing. So that's all we got again from now till tomorrow. So consumer confidence is the only really big thing. Now the VIX, starting off in the week. I mean, I can make this a little bit, bigger. You can see last week it was spike up, drop, spike up, drop, spike up, drop. And again, over the weekend, it did the same thing. It spiked and it was starting a little bit higher than what we saw. It's kind of like, if this is what the spike looked like, you can see that's exactly what that spike looked like. This one, not as much, but exactly what that spike looked like. So it's a normal spike for what we have right now. Where we are right now, there's no additional news, right? There's no additional news. We should probably see this deteriorate down. You can see all the indices are currently in the green just by a little bit, right? Just by a little bit. But what bad news is there today that we really should be concerned about, right? Not much, right? The dollar, again, dollar still kind of tracking. We know we had this level here. Again, last week we are talking about 101.80. We're at 101.60 right now, pushing down. We've had buyers kind of stabilize, but we are pushing through. There's a little bit of a basing level, but I would say overall, it looks like the dollar can weaken. Again, I think this is just for anticipation of what's coming. We know that the Fed is most likely going to raise interest rates again, at least one more time, before they start halting. Um, Again, where we are with things, the data is not horrible, right? The stock market's not crashing, the world is not ending. Um, you know, but with a big run up like this, that's typically the first thing we're looking at is like, wait a second, there's an area with all these, and again, this area was actually established over here, right? This was the Harry Potter going the other direction. Now it's, I mean, it's almost the exact same bottom, right? To adjust it more near term, we'd have to put it here, and you can see, yeah, defined line, buyers here, it's bouncing off of them. The next one isn't until down at this level right here. So we got some room to run this one down to 101.20-ish level. Indices in the green, commodities all in the red, a little bit more than what the indices are. And again, is that the dollar kind of coming down? Yes and no. I mean, crude 77.50. Again, with the talk of recession, so things like that kind of sucks that up a little bit. Natural gas, again, it was supposedly cold over the weekend. Excuse me. Yeah, that was a big one. Up at 22. I think it's way too high. I think it needs a drop. Gold holding down below that 2000 mark. And again, the 1978, 1977 level. Silver is officially under the 25. We talked last week about being over 25, which is way too high. It's down 0.5% already today. Jumping over to the Aussie dollar. So here's where the Aussie dollar was. Now, this was a run early morning today. So we had a level here that we had marked off. We were looking for like a confirmation bounce off of this. Actually, this is off. Let's see. There's the bottom of the candle. And I know we moved this one around a few times. So there we go. That's what that one looks like. So we ended up tagging this one at about 1 o'clock in the morning. And then right around this 2:30 time frame, we kind of came low, and it's showing red in here, right? We're showing red in here. Remember, this was a target. We were looking for more of a confirmation off of it. And again, the European session really hadn't even opened yet when we were pushing that through. This one you may or may not have even gotten stopped out. It breached the drawing, but it's less than like zero point 0.2 of a pip. It's very, very small. So maybe again, typically we want to add little buffers in there. This would not have beat the spread. The spread's 1.2 on this one. So it did rally back up, and where it turned, again, obviously there's sellers in here. The reality of this one is when we were sitting here, kind of here was where we were on Friday. We didn't know that any of this existed, right? This is what this looked like right there at Friday. And what we were talking about is if we drove all the way down, this could be a nice little reversal back up again. Well, once we had this kind of being put in, now you got a question saying, oh, you know what? There's a zone there, right? There's a zone, and there's a confirmation off that zone, right? So you got to look at this and be like, hey, this is still Friday, and then it confirmed on Sunday, right? That's what that area looked like, and it pushed away. So could you have taken this on a Sunday night open trade? Yes, absolutely. There was your zone on Friday. There was your confirmation, and then it came back up to grab that same level. So looking at that, knowing that we had a bigger zone down here, we didn't have a 1 to 3 space, and you would have been looking at any type of long. You would have had to look in this area right here to take profit, right? Again, that's where kind of the wick behind, that's the body behind is, right? Right there. And what did it do? It came right up to that area and turned. So that's where you had to be looking for profit, assuming that it would go up higher and break through the 1 to 3. Not a smart idea. So ideally, you took this one short in the overnight, right? The Sunday to open, you took this one short back down to this level. And then as far as taking this one long, you really couldn't have taken that anywhere else. And if you were looking to establish an area to go long here, we hadn't, again, this is the opposite of what we want, right? For failure to go lower, right? You typically want this to be the long one. And then when this short one goes, you pull the trigger when it leaves on the other side. So this is the exact opposite. So as far as being an area where it reversed, it did. I think we can keep this one marked off. Actually, you know what? There's not enough room here anyway. So we'll take this one off. And again, we came down, grabbed that profit target at 66.75. Remove that. Let's take some of these off. They're finally gotten chopped through. We can take this all the way down. Right now, let's remove these. I thought I pulled those last week. We are going to pull this one up and bring this over. So things that I'm looking on this one, I don't. This has been here before, and this bottom is the exact same bottom as this, so there should not be any buyers left in here. This should be able to deteriorate back down again. Now there is a level, kind of a nice little thing over here, and a little bit of a pop off this one. I don't love this as much as because it's a 78.6. Again, this is my personal opinion. I don't love the 78.6 trade. Some people love it. I know in commodities people use it all the time. It's not my favorite in there. Um, that is sitting approximately right there. Okay. Now, the issue I have with this one right now is there's this zone. There's a little testing here, a little testing here, a little testing here. There's not really anything clean as far as entries go on this one until this 66.27. That's where we got a base and we came down and we got a confirmation touch. So this one technically has some room to run, right? Pushing down to this level. Um, if we get a pullback, okay, this level now that we marked off is now a 23.6 pullback. Um, I'm wondering though if that's a little bit too aggressive. If the better entry on that one would be here where this one pulled back to. Okay. Again, there's a confirmation there. Remember, could it tag the 23.6 and then bam, just go right through? It could, but I feel like it's going to go back up to that tested level and actually come just a little tiny bit higher. I feel like that one again, the 6700, makes a little bit more sense than the 6698, right? I feel like that one will get sucked into it, the magnetism of that zero. Now, if this continues to go lower and break through, that's fine. We'll be able to readjust it. I think right now, if you are short, look for this one to potentially come down to this level here at 66.60 or 66.58. It's all right. Like I said, I think the best one in this one would have been the Sunday night entry here to take this one short. And again, this was like 7, 8 o'clock at night. Rather small risk on this one. It was very tiny. It was like talking about like 7, 8 pips on that one. I guess, yeah, that's the best one you had. It was small. It was small. Um, yeah, so that's kind of, I'll change this one the color. Like that's where I'm looking for this one now. And again, if we do start stabilizing around here, I think this one becomes a potential short right there. All right, there's kind of our top and bottom right now for me on this one. Again, a hiccup on the roll way down. Also, again, so also again, this is where we're kind of at right now. Again, we did have that Friday touch, and it did make it out. It touched at 10 o'clock on Friday. We talked about that 90 being a big level. It did turn and push all the way back down again, and it tagged that level at 12:30. And then we just kind of stabilized. It did go lower, came all the way back up, and we're kind of sitting in there right now. Again, whether you took this one or taking this one now, um, that's what number two looks like, right? Is it riskier? Yeah, it's already hit at one time and kind of reversed back again. We talked about that 90 being a good thing. And again, at 10:30, you know, there's Friday out. If you're in it now, you're up 1-1. You were up at 2-1 at one point. Um, eh, This one is going to require a little bit of help from the end, so a little bit riskier. But it's an area where, yeah, we would be looking for reversals. Again, it's, the poor guy's waiting for 50 to get in there. Kind of hit it twice, but a nice little strong push down, base, and pullback. And again, being a 90, we like that. And then with the confirmation in, it's not horrible. I just don't know how much help we're going to get from the yen on this one because we're seeing, for the most part, yen weakness across the board, except versus the Aussie. If my sound goes out, Kip is playing with the sound cord again, so I'll watch it, but if I'm talking, just do me a favor. If you hear me cut out completely, and it's like 10 to 15 seconds, do me a favor, type it in chat so I can hear it, so I can see it. Euro dollar. All right, so euro dollar. We're still playing in the same area. You can see here's where our Sunday night trade opened up. We missed it. I'd love to say that, like, yep, there we go. We had Friday go here. We came back up and we talked about the 109.97. It made it up to 109.96 flat. So we missed it by 1.4 pips. The spread is 1.5. I missed it by the spread. And then did have a nice little run back to the downside from that peak. It's about 30 pips. So right call, just missed it by a little tiny bit. I hate when you miss them by the spread. You could have traded this one with a failure to go lower. You could have actually used that candle here and say, hey, listen, I'm going to establish that one right there. But this was a very, very small, it was like 4 pips. So you typically aren't going to take something with a 1.5 pip spread and then taking a 4 pip zone. What are you doing? Yeah. But you could have got into this one. The red, green, red didn't come into here. which again was a little bit deep on that one. But yeah, it stinks. It is what it is. Now it has pushed back up again, and we are seeing now again having some chopping back and forth. We knew that there was going to be a lot in here, and we really wanted to wait till Monday morning. At 5:30, it did pull back. It just went right back down to the 110. Wouldn't be surprised if this one continues to roll back down and kind of pushes in here. So we knew this red was the Harry Potter. We knew that this was the zone. And again, one, two, three, four is what broke as it should. And now it's kind of pushed one and two back down again. So, this 101 number, I'll leave it here, but this 110 number is obviously going to be a big deal. Now, you can see it is grabbing levels here right now, right? So as far as reversals go, again, this looks very similar to that also again, where there's the drop, a nice little kind of stabilization point, and then a drop back down again. That's what it's hitting. Do we start to reverse this one back down? Will dollar strength come back in now? This is when it could potentially do it, but understand there's really no catalyst today. There's not a whole lot of news. Um, Not really the best opportunity. You can see in the last 24 hours, again, it's not a full 24 hours, but we're 24 pips, right? It's green, but we've had red the entire last hour. So, yeah, not necessarily the best trade setup right now. And again, for a quiet Monday, but it is an area where a reversal came in. If you're in, um, yeah, you're like 13 pips up on it. So, you know, my problem with this one is like you would not have had a 1 to 3 all the way back down to the 110, right? Because you can see it's stabilizing right here on this 110. It probably does drop a little bit lower, maybe down to this 98 range. How much could you have gotten out of that one? Let's see. That's 11, 30s right there. Yeah. If you traded that one, it's not a horrible trade. Not a horrible trade, but we're going to need some help. We're going to need some help on this one to run to the downside. Now, Euro pound. Euro pound also, again, this one is calling for European weakness. You're seeing the euro pound is back up again. This was a level we were looking at as a potential for Friday. You can see it drove up that high. And again, here's where the selling is. And we're kind of running into that right now. So if the European weakness comes in here, you would assume that the European weakness is coming in the euro dollar. Since the open this morning, here's the 3 o'clock candle. Actually, it's 3:30, so it's a little bit late, but more or less we've been straight up. It's only up about 34 pips, but it's got a 42 pip ATR for a daily. So we're not quite at an extreme level yet. But if profit taking is going to come in, this is where the profit taking would come in. You can see this morning, what did it do? It bounced right off this 50, the same level we talked about it being in there as a target first, the 88.27. It stabilized there. We knew we had buyers, and it used it and took off. This is one of those ones that 50 people, the 50% guys will be like, look at that, halfway back in the overnight. Yeah. Yeah, it was painful to watch that one, and then finally did come and break. But again, small zone confirmed there, but not enough that we were going to draw it and use it. But again, 34 pips up. Expecting a reversal right now out of it. This continues to push back down. The euro dollar should follow as well. Now, euro yen. So let's clean this one up. Let's see. The Harry Potter is still good on this one. You can see Monday morning at 2:30, we touched this level again. So we formed the base here Sunday night. Here was this. We drew this here and we talked about it. Here's Sunday night, and then there was another touch of it. So you can see 1, 2, 3, and this is 4. I think this one is still good when you adjust it near term. And again, a little tiny bit deep down here, the 146.75 is flirting with this. Ideally, we'd want it where the black is. But right now, I think overall we're in a pretty good state with this one. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4 is what broke. It came back and used it to go higher, so we'll remove it now. This 148.15, it's obviously taking some bounces off of it, but well, what are you doing? We know that this one has some bigger problems right now. So let's go back up to a 4 hour on this one. We know this gigantic zone up here is kind of what we're dealing with on a daily basis, right? It looks like this, right? It's quite a large zone, a little tiny bit of a hiccup, and on a 4 hour, I don't know. Can I see the four? Oh, so 4 hour doesn't work. A daily, I can see it, but it's an absolutely monstrous number up there. So right now, we know that we punched through, right? This is the zone we had, right? And you can see it's the very, very top. We could see that on a lower. I think we saw that on was it 2 hour? Yeah, it was a 30. There's the zone on the 30. Nice push, but now we're officially clear, right? We're through the top side of it. So right now, we know we got some area to run on this one. We're kind of breaking, again, I can see it on the daily, but once we go to the 4 hour, I lose it because it's been so long until we've gotten back up there. I think at this point, we start looking for this one to start rallying up and again, potentially getting back up to that 150 mark. Not that the euro is inherently strong, but we know that the yen is inherently weak right now. So I think what we need to do right now is I think we need to redraw this one. We'll leave the Harry Potter on, right? We're going to leave that on there. We're going to remove this right now. And again, it is a violated level. So we're going to turn this one yellow, right? We're just gonna remove this because we know we got a big, kind of a big. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Can I see? No, I'm not gonna be able to do it. Let's just put this. So right now, what I would like to see is there's a potential in here for a Harry Potter. If you run again, this is not the bottom, but based off of the new trend, and people will look at this and say, okay, this is the new trend that we're in right now. This is where we're looking like right now for the new trend. You can see the 61.8 again. It's got a lot of that Harry Potter trade in there. It's bisecting right through that risk level. You can see the 50 doesn't have a whole lot. The 23.6 I think is going to be where the big question marks come in on this one. How far can we run? Can we punch up and get the 23 in a little bit better of an area there? Where it is right now, if this is the pure top, yeah, there's a zone in there, but very, very difficult to draw that zone. So I'd like this one to go higher. Um, I do think some profit taking will come in because you can see this is 3 o'clock. We've been nothing really but straight up. One little hiccup here both times, some profit taking, but I do expect it to kind of roll. It's not going to be as strong as the euro pound and the euro dollar. The yen just doesn't have that oomph in it right now. So that's my one kind of concern about this one. I am starting to look though at targets up here at the 109. I think 109 is our first major target I'm sorry, 149 is our first major target, followed by the 150 right up there, right? I think both of these are right. I think both of these are great levels. Good ones to look at, right? Yeah, I think they're both in there, right? They're both in there. Yeah, again, we're only 70 pips from it. It's got a daily ATR of 129, so I'm kind of looking for both these. I think we probably run into some problems here, pull up and then go higher, but I'm really looking for pullback opportunities. This zone, not great. Again, Monday morning, super early. This one at 8 o'clock, not there. I'm looking for decent zones. If it does turn and collapse like everybody else, and again, the yen's not going to help us on that one. It'd be purely, European weakness. Again, set an alert. It's going to be a while, but 147.12 down to 147. I'm sorry, 146.75. A nice little, 30 pip, 37 pip drop. I do like this one for later on. Again, this one may not hit for a long time, but I do like where it's at. I do like the formation of it. I like the way that it runs. I think we could get there. And again, who knows? The way this one works and the way we have, with the yens going on, this could take a long time, but definitely something to keep on a watch list that doesn't expire. Pound dollar. So yeah, pound dollar out. Talked about it. Here's, on Thursday it came down. On Friday morning, we rallied back up again. We were looking for a push off of this. It did it at 10 o'clock on Friday, not the 10:30. We were hoping to get down here and then take off, but it just went up. And then again in the Sunday night, really in the Monday morning, you could see that there's kind of you got to kind of draw this one like this, right? You can see that's what it ran into. Is it trending? Not really, right? You got this, right? You kind of got this in here. It's kind of holding firm. I would say bearish is still my mindset on this one. Could you be short in a trade right now? Sure, you could. If you would have taken this off here, you have to understand it is a second and third hit, so it's not the strongest opportunities. But again, it is a candle that we do like, and it did give us a strong push. And you could have said, "Hey, listen, it was confirmed here at 5:30." But I think the better trade would have been taking the 5:30 reversal off of it, and then again, um, being all the way down to this level. You know, but again, sideways movement. You can see it's up 0.05. We're talking about 13 pips in the last 24 hours, right? So nothing, not going crazy. Nothing blowing out on that one. Pound yen. So pound yen again continuing to go higher. We were talking about a short potentially off the snooze. It wasn't there. It came back up, used it, dropped back down. I think at this point I want to rotate this one around and basically talk about again this old level. Talk about the level in here. I want to see. I love this racetrack. I think that is awesome. We're at 78. I can remove that. Bring this up to here. There right now. Um, I love the fact that we've based in here now. Currently, right now, that's what the Harry Potter trade looks like, right? It is only about 15 pips, 16 pips, which on the pound yen is actually really good. It's got a daily ATR of 150. So this is kind of what I'm looking at for this one. Oops, not a forecast. Short position. Sorry. Now, I still need to see kind of the more near term, right? I need to see the more near term. Here's where the profit should come in. And you can see it's right at the bottom. Right along those lines, right? That's kind of what I'm looking at, right? The area we're in right now, there's a lot of chopping here. There's a little level here that's been hit a few times. There's a new level here. I love this formation right there with those candles. I think that's great, but it has actually hit that already. And that's kind of what we're running into right now. But now, we've hit it. We pulled back again and we got a higher low saying buyers are getting in, but we're also getting lower highs. So there's a lot in here, a lot of selling in. Ideally on this one also, I'd like to see the yen strength come back in again. If we can get a little bit of yen profit taking or yen strength coming back in, that also would help bring this down. It would also happen to bring the euro yen down. That would help the dollar yen trade, and also maybe a little bit with the euro pound trade. So they're all kind of in that same realm. But I hate having to put anything on the yen right now, particularly with the environment we're in, to like kind of help us, right? Not ideal, but again, if this does turn and roll when it does, it may not. It could take years. It could be tomorrow, right? Whenever this does, it's an if this then that base trade. But I do like how this was a very quick pop. I like how it's hit it again, and it is trending lower each time, which means it's eating more and more of those buyers up. I think this will be a pretty decent trade for 17, 18 pips for about 50 in the other direction. So I do like that one. Dollar CAD. All right. So dollar CAD. Here's where the Sunday break was. The Sunday break wasn't as high. I was kind of wedged in between these two levels. And you can see if I extend this across, it's absolutely fine in those guys here. And we talked about 135.70 right here. Look, right there. Remove that one because, again, we're basing in that. And that's exactly what we hit right here at 3 o'clock in the morning. So we went straight down. And it's funny. I love when it does this. There's your 3 o'clock candle. There's your 5:30 candle, right? And we're still floating right in the middle of the channel. So is dollar CAD trending? 15 pips in 24 hours. Not so much, right? Not so much. We're seeing a little bit of dollar strength roll back in again. We know we have sellers just a little bit higher. Not really much we can say on this one. We know that we had, again, this brown area. There was the two levels here, and we said, hey, listen, it's a level on top of a level. The entire area has sellers. Anything up here, we're looking for shorts. Is there anything strong today? I mean, oil's up a little bit once the dollar, or, I'm sorry, the U.S. market opened. Is it a very, very strong move? No, not really. Right. So, bearish mindset, no trade setups in a dollar CAD, unfortunately. Dollar Swiss. Looks like we are out. Now, this one, in all fairness, I know that it says it entered right here, but we're looking for pullbacks. You may or may not have traded this one. Now, this zone had been hit multiple times. The zone was blown up here. We hit it again. We came back in again. It went back into the zone. It hit it. It actually hit it 3 times. The red one came up and went down. The green one came up and went down. And then it opened in that level. At that point, you got to kind of make a call. Are you taking it or you're not taking it? If you took it, you're officially out. You can see now that it turned light green. If I move this across and you said, nope, I'm waiting for the pullback, you would have got it in about 8 o'clock this morning, and you also would have been out. The only problem with that one, and taking that one, right, would have been when it went this low, did you take the trade? Right? Would you have still gotten in over here if you had not gotten here with it going that low is the big question. Okay. It hasn't left that trajectory. It is out either way. Again, this was small, 10 for 30 or 9.5. Actually, sorry, I adjusted it. It was there. I had it set. I don't remember how I had it set now. When I moved it across, unfortunately, I screwed it up. Right there. Okay. There was our zone. So whether it was here, they both went past. They're both decent trades. Just the question is, when it went super low, were you still able to take it? Oh, what are you doing? You got it, but you should not play with that. So where we are right now, we talked about profit taking coming in just a little bit lower from where we are. We knew there was going to be a little bit of a hiccup, and it did. It went lower and it went lower. It's still continuing to drive back down again. Overall, this should come back down to 88.77. The next real level we have is this green level down here. There's a little bit of a base that could potentially go off at 88.75. I think waiting for this one really to come down to this 88.70 is really the better option. I think that's where we're really looking forward to hit. It's got to hit the 88.77 first, but Again, easy Sunday night trade here. You could have taken it multiple different ways, and it came lower. I was concerned because once we were driving here, I was like, oh god, please don't break this on Friday night. Don't break it on Friday night. And then when Sunday happened here, it's like, oh, thank God it didn't gap pass or go into it or anything like that. So it just continued to go, hit it and bounced, came back up. It's like, yes, here's where we're going. So nice little trade in the overnight. So right now, look for it to come down base off 88.70 and look for reversal. Dollar yen going for that 135. We talked about it. And again, some nice little pullbacks on there. We had this one little hit on Friday at 9:30, and we talked about this one. I love it. I love the fact that it hit. It didn't base down here. So we have the ability to still use this one. And again, we're going to leave this on there until we get back down here again. Maybe it takes years to get back down, or it could be tomorrow. I don't know. It's an if this, then that base trade. But I love the fact that it hit it and just barely breached through and then popped out of it. Um, Top side 135 is kind of our target right now. There's obviously some selling going on from here with these lower highs, and some people look at this and say, "Look, sellers, 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 sellers," and we're kind of hitting it right now. You're right, we are. It's been all yen weakness. Here's the European market. There are sellers here, but we're really not getting any help from the yen. If the yen can turn and flip and roll on us, then we'll get some assistance. But right now, it is unfortunately not perfect. Sorry, Melissa messaged me. So yeah, for me, I'm looking for 130 before I'm really interested in doing much. I mean, I guess you could potentially take a long trade if you wanted to. Let's see, will there be some buyers in there? Maybe it didn't hit a 23. Maybe people are able to claim that one. I think if anything, the 50 maybe something. It's okay. It's all right. I mean, it was 3 o'clock in the morning, so maybe there's some sellers there. Maybe this is the level we look for. Um, right now, though, we're far enough away. Yeah, we're 60 pips right now. Maybe for an open. What are you doing? What you got there? Maybe I would like to see what time it hit it. Maybe if it pulls back for like something like adorable gives or something like that, or even like a GDP. Maybe we use that for a news based position. But right now, I'm really just focused on hitting that 135, and then at 135, I would like to see some reversing. 135 will be one of those big numbers that, um, you know, the BOJ will be like, oh, 135 is bad. Remember, 130 used to be bad, and now we just destroyed that. And then 135 is like, well, 135 is where it starts to hurt us a little bit. You start getting comments like that they could potentially do something. I don't think they're going to do too much, but that's where I'm looking at. Let's go over and see what oil's doing. Yeah, it's funny. So oil kind of had this right here in the overnight, right? And then all of a sudden the US session started and it's like, yo, we love our oil, right? We love our oil. In the overnight, it was really going back to the downside. Take this one off. That was a trade from last week. Let's pull that. You can see poor people at that 23. It worked here and then just got sliced through. Hmm. There's a little bit in here. Nothing I love. This is a mirror top. I'm not concerned about that. The 50, the 50 being right above 80, I could see this being a reversal point, but I don't have a level that I can draw. Again, oil definitely a technically traded market. People will definitely trade pure fibs in this one. Could that come up to the 50 turn right out of this 80? Yeah, it could. Of anything, I think this level up here probably a little bit better. We've already seen it bounce out of there twice. It's kind of backstopped by the 60, and then again, we currently have something at the 82 mark, right? The 78.6, and people will use the 78.6 here. Again, I'm not a big fan, but there is a zone that's confirmed at the 78, so I think that's probably a decent sell. Let's see, is there any comments? Wallet. Euro to initial. I love this. The United States is supposed to lead, but both China and the ECB both have digital currencies now because we're leading. We're leading, guys. Uh, Um, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's enough slowing this down. I think really until we get back up to the 80. I hate to say it, I don't want to see 80. Um, but until profit taking occurs, maybe. Hmm, maybe they pull it from here. Shouldn't really pull it from there, but maybe they do. So I'm just not concerned about this. Yeah, so I don't really see much slowing this down to at least the 80 mark. But I do think we got to get very cautious at 80. So yeah, US in there. Love for that. All right. So this guy, I'm kind of surprised that we are seeing a pop right now. And again, US session came in, boom, we popped. Now, we did have this. But trading lower as most eastern states continue to see cool temperatures. Yeah, but you know what they mean by cool temperatures? It's like it's 50 degrees outside right now, and people are like cool temperatures. Everybody I know refuses to turn the heater back on. They're like, yeah, I'm just gonna grab a sweatshirt. I'm not turning the heat back on. But I guess because it's currently 50, people are like, well, it's cold. It's cold. It's 50. It's like, your house is holding pretty firm. So I am actually surprised this one is going down. I guess that's why they're trying to justify why this is going higher is because it's still cool on the East Coast. But Kip, come on, go get out from under the desk. I don't want you under the desk. Come on, go over there, buds. Go over there, buds. He like wants to crawl through, but he's not little anymore, so he goes through and ends up with like the power cord, the monitor cable. He just goes all through it all. So with the popping right here, this is where we talked about ending on Sunday. I was like, hey, listen, we'll end here on Friday. I missed it by a little tiny bit. How much did I miss it by? Sunday's right there. So I missed it by that much of where I thought it would end. It's gone down and went back up again. I guess it's halfway through the range though. Looking at this, going from kind of top to bottom, you can see we are right into 50 and 61.8. There are sellers up here. So, with this US pop coming in, I actually won't be surprised if we turn. 227 is way too high right now. But you can see on a technical basis, it was a drop, sideways movement, and then a strong drop. And again, confirm. This is hit number 3, which makes it weaker. But again, once this pushed all the way down, all of a sudden it became a 50, 61.8 time frame. So, or 50 region. So the fact that it's only touched it barely, I think, again, add 1030, add a 61.8, add, again, very small touches there. I think this could be a decent rollover. And again, it's been nothing but straight up in the US session, right? Funny how that works out. So, look for this to turn roll. I think this one has the potential of being a reversal rather soon. If it does break through 229, though, I think this one has the ability to run all the way back up again. Could run up to there, right? Gold. Gold continuing to push back down. Again, we're looking for a break of 1968. We talked about, this is kind of the channel that we're currently in. You can see it's kind of failing. I would like to see it push through and get into this 1968, 1950 area. We've hit it. Here's the original zone. We smashed through it. Here we hit it again. You can see we kind of touched it again. So we are kind of due for this one. Actually, I guess it's 1969. We actually due for this one to come through and break. So I'd say today, tomorrow, maybe consumer confidence is what drives us down tomorrow morning. Today, I don't know. I don't know that we'll have the easiest kind of run through it today, but I think with the sideways base in here, we look to pull the trigger, take a small Harry Potter if you're interested in trading gold. But I'm looking for this to come back down to 1950 at some point this week. Silver, fluctuating back and forth. We're officially above 25 again. We're up 0.08, 0.09. Again, U.S. markets popping this one. Still got a Harry Potter down here if we can get through that 2466 range. Again, top side of this where we've seen sellers come in are 25. We're literally sitting right in the middle right now between the two. So not much we can do with it. I guess you'll have some people that are running a high to low right here. Again, 1030 at a 50% mark with some sellers in there. Maybe we can push the 61.8, right? But I would say look for a potential reversal of this coming through maybe in here, right? I don't think it's going to move a ton though. Okay. Maybe consumer confidence tomorrow helps us with that. Maybe this number. But again, I think it's really going to be more of a Fed thing, right? As we hear more about that. What do we got here? We got Apple basically flat. Yeah, Apple basically flat from where we closed. Tesla also flat, right? I mean, it says it's down 1.3%, but that's just from where we closed. from where the overnight occurred, it really hasn't moved. It drove up and went right back down, and we're still kind of in an area of buyers, so not really much movement there. Is the VIX deteriorating? Yeah, look, see, VIX is continuing to push back down. Right, looks like it's up big, but it's not. Dollar again, still holding firm right around that 101.60 area. ES, yeah, continuing to rise as it should. We're out of news. Let's drop this down and see if there's any entries we could have taken. No. Let's see. Uh, 3 hits off of that. So there was a small zone in here, right? If you box this candle, you could have said, "Oh, look, 1, 2, 3 pulled back again." So it did pull back from 9,915. This is hit number 4. So, and then selling is up there. So not really, not a clear direction. There was a pullback in here. You could say, "Hey, listen, there was basing right there, and we pulled back into that one." That was probably your best option. Again, there was a zone above, but it was hit number 4, which we're not typically as worried about. And again, the 9 and 915 candles were down. It was rather small. If you did take this when you are out on the position, um, again, we typically want a confirmed 1 to 3 is right there. We typically want a confirmed level. There was no real confirmed level. Here is basing in the overnight. It never really it did push down, but it didn't really pull back to it. This one did hit at 915, so it was kind of like a level. But let's get out of there. Get out. Come on. What are you doing? Come on out. Oh, someone's got to stink. So you could have traded this one. Not the ideal setup on this, but I wasn't necessarily concerned with the top side. I don't know. I would say definitely watch out for the level at 4168. It's the last time we have some confirmed sellers in there above where we're currently at. Downwise, again, not necessarily as concerned. Let's see if we run fibs in there. Is there anything close? Not really. It's between those two levels. So, this one's kind of running out of steam. And again, there's absolutely zero news right now to do it. But if you did take that opening print one, again, there was no confirmation, but it was a base in the overnight. It did pull back for the full half hour before news started. So, again, what? What, you hear the cat? You hear the kitty? Yeah. You say bubble? Bubble? No, not today. All right. NQ, what do we got over here? Kind of the same thing. Zone sitting down here. I mean, I guess you could have said, well, wait a second. There's a zone here. The problem is the 915 candle was basically at the end of it. Here's the next level with not really any confirmation coming through. I mean, I guess a little bit. Again, maybe if you tried to tag this bottom one, you got stopped. This one. It's only two. There's not. It's not even 275. Yeah, yeah. It's a 2.47. So it pulled back. I mean, if you would trade, I mean, here I'll draw the full 1 to 3 on there. Right. Had you traded this one, and again, use an option. There's your 1 to 3. Right. You can see we came down. The option wouldn't have stopped you out here, obviously, but as it pulled back there, you could have traded options on this one and taken this one for a 1 to 3 back up to where sellers are. Again, we expect sellers to come in there. It peaked right above at 930 and then immediately pulled right back down again. So it's up 0.01. I don't know. I guess futures, you would have taken a stop on it, right? Had you traded the same exact way on both, ES was successful for +3, and this would have been a -1. Had you taken it, right? How did it come through? 25. Yeah, honestly, it was a very quick spike down. It was just a quick spike and then take off, and then came right back down again. So, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's go to YM. All right, so YM, did YM have any pullback? No, it did not. There was nothing in this one. Look, green, green, green. We're not in a level, right? There was last week, but there was nothing confirmed in the overnight. So, yeah, nothing. I mean, there was a pullback at 8:30, but that was it. It just stopped. Yeah, so nothing on YM. Russell. Russell had. So the problem with Russell is the 1800. We did have a pullback down again, and I guess actually this one is not horrible. There's the base. There's your confirmation at 8:30 in the morning, and there you go. Hold on, buds. Hold on. Hold on. What, this? You want this? Here. You want Miss Rachel? Here, Miss Rachel for 5 minutes. Here, Miss Rachel for 5 minutes. There we go. So yeah, so this is where your overnight base came in. There's your confirmation at 8, and there's your 1 to 3 right there. Right there. It wouldn't have been that one. It would have been this one, but it doesn't. The candle going all the way through the top always screws it up. So yeah, so overall, again, no confirmation of the overnight, but ES has a setup. NQ, maybe you got stopped out on that one. If you're looking at that one, options wise, you're fine. It went well past. It wasn't a super clean entry on it. YM, nothing. Didn't really give you a base or a pullback. And then again, Russell, also the nice base in the overnight around that 5:30 time frame. It pulled back coming from the 1800, pulled back down again at 5:30. And again, 1800 is always a weird number. And we're driving higher. So this one as well. Again, not looking for sells here. Probably sells a little bit higher in the 1812 range. Again, with this pushing this deep. Whoops. Just pull that one off. Right there is kind of the last bit of sellers that we have, and that's kind of where we're approaching. I don't think that this is enough to hold it. I still think it probably comes back up into probably there, the 1812 mark before we sell. So, but overall, not bad for a Monday. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. We'll see. Look at this one already started to pop through. Oh yeah, so that's what we got. Nothing super exciting. Like I said, pound yen is the only one that's out there, and again, this is mostly a yen play than anything else. You're seeing this one starting to level out, and look versus the dollar, 36.20. Not a whole lot there. So, all right, let's go ahead. Look at this. Only three. You guys have got it easy today. You guys got it easy today. I will give this one till 2 because I know some people like to try to snipe this thing at the very, very end. There's like, nah, I can't make that easy. Gotta get in there. Gotta get in there. Gotta get in there. 10 more seconds. Let's see. And for those of you like, we have 6 people. It looks like 6 people or 7 people on YouTube right now. If you're wondering where this is or like what they're doing, this is all over on Twitch. Yeah, on Twitch you have the ability. It's a game we have, and you can buy things with it. All right, here we go. Winner of today's drawing is Neuro. Neuro, what was your percent? You had 60% chance of winning. Yeah, the other two were giving that one to you. You used 20. You used 20 pip chips, right? Because remember, it cost you 10. So you used 20 to make 25 today. So you were +5 on the day, Neuro. +5, right? Where's Neuro? You're +5. But I know why you're doing it, because you were like, hey, listen, I'll take just a +5 win today. So tomorrow I'm going for bigger things, right? Not a huge margin, I bet. No. Well, it's not a huge margin, but when you're playing the long game, Neuro, I know how it works. I read the ebook. So, all right. So again, consumer confidence, the next big one we have. We'll see how it goes. Again, not the most exciting of Mondays, but this is all we were dealing with today. So hopefully we get some more movement, and again, a couple pretty decent levels in there. We'll see if this and that base trades, and hopefully tomorrow morning with that consumer confidence number followed up by this CPI, which I'm excited about. We get some more decent trade ups in the next 24 hours. So with that, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Thank you for joining me today. Everybody stay warm, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Later.